Something you do not want to do is to buy a house with a fraudulent deed. In this video, I'm going to tell you a story about how we've done it ourselves, and I'm going to tell you the best ways to avoid ever buying a house with a fraudulent deed. So I'm Monique Burns. My husband and I have been buying houses since 2007. We do some buy and hold, but we mostly are buying them, renovating them, putting a Section 8 tenant in them, and then selling them. That's called turnkey. We sell them turnkey with the tenant in it. And right now we do have a few houses for sale. A 3-bedroom with a Section 8 tenant we sell for $84,000. The rent comes in between like $1,250 to $1,400 depending on the housing commission. And there's a lot to learn about Detroit and how things work in Detroit. And so I decided to go ahead and make a course. And my course is called Section 8 Rental Mastery. My husband and I lead a weekly mastermind, and there's all kinds of training. And part of it is on avoiding getting a house with a fraudulent deed. If you'd like information about the course, link below. This is the typical scenario of how an investor can get stuck with a house with a fraudulent deed. As investors, we typically already know that if you're going to buy a house, you need to do it legally, which means you're going to use a title company. In other states, you go through lawyers to do the transaction. There is another legal way to do it without the title company and without the lawyers, and it's called a quitclaim deed. And that's usually a thing that's like between family members, or I've done it before. When we first started, we bought the houses in our personal name and figured out we should be buying them through our LLC. So we quitclaimed the houses from our personal name to our LLC. So that's fine, that's legal. I didn't need to go through a title company for that. We have bought houses before from a wholesaler, and all the title work was all clean, but there was a squatter in the house, or a holdover tenant, or who knows who's in the house. And so we get the house for a deep discount, knowing that we might have to go through the legal process. And this has happened more than once with us. We go to meet the person and we're all like, yeah, you got to get out. It's not your house. Who do you think you are? And the person turns out to be a sweet person who innocently thought that they were buying a house with a real deed. And somebody comes over and says, I've got this house for you, and it's only too good to be true price. And the person is desperate or thinks, my gosh, I finally got my opportunity. I don't have to be a renter anymore. I'm going to buy a house. So they go ahead and they buy it, and they sign this deed, and they think it's a real deed, and they sign it at their kitchen table, but the thing never gets recorded. When I do quitclaim deeds, I have to go to the county, and then I have to record it. And the county is really particular. Your font size has to be just so, your margins have to be just so. I go by my middle name, so it can't be S. Monique Burns in one spot and then Monique Burns in another spot. They have all these little particular things. I've seen it before where the squatter says, look, here's my deed, and there's no stamp, and the font size is all wrong, and it's really bad, and I feel badly for him. And that's like the worst situation as an investor, because you got to get out of here. All of a sudden you feel badly. You're like, darn it, I got to do cash for keys. I got to offer him money to get him out. But this video today, I am on the board of REIA of Oakland, Real Estate Investors Association of Oakland County, Michigan. And my role is education, and I lead the first 30 minutes monthly meetings. In the first 30 minutes, we call it the early bird session. And I chose Erika Vogel of Michigan Investment Title to come speak to us about a whole slew of things about title. And be sure you are checking out the whole playlist, because she dropped some seriously good information for investors. And some of it's a little bit advanced, but I did some introductions so that you'd understand what she's talking about. In this video, you're going to hear her talk about fraudulent deeds, the ways to avoid them, getting the concept of why you definitely need a title company. And if you are liking this video, please do subscribe, like, comment. I love it. It really helps. But let's get into what Erika has to say.
We were talking about fraudulent quitclaim deeds in the city of Detroit. Unfortunately, there is a lot of fraudulent quitclaim deeds in a lot of the major cities. We saw this in Pontiac, we saw this in Flint, we see this in Detroit. Some people will do this in hopes that we will contact them, and they'll say, well, I'll just sign off a deed if you give me $500 or $1,000. It's easier than filing a lawsuit. There's reason for the fraudulent behavior, but title insurance, what we do, like at my company, when we see that there are quitclaim deeds, we reach out, we send mailings, we will skip trace them, we will find them, we found them on Facebook. And we reach out and we try to find out, did you indeed deed this property to so-and-so? If they say yes, then we are good to go. If they say no, we kind of know. We also check for notaries. There's a lot of invalid notaries or fraudulent notaries, so we check their notary stamps, we make calls, we send letters, we try to track them down on Facebook and try to make sure that chain of title was through the correct channels. If we do all that and we insure your transaction and give you title insurance, and we find out still that there was fraud, then your title insurance policy will cover you and will move forward on trying to correct the situation, whether it's to get your money back or to pay the other person the money if they didn't want the house. That they work it out. That's all with that's what our great title lawyers do all day.
And are you seeing a major increase in recent years compared to years past?
Sure, yeah. I mean, definitely. We see more, and with investors being really prevalent in like those metropolitan areas like Detroit or Flint or Pontiac, that's where they tend to go because there's really a lot of questions aren't asked when they start putting through. We found one the other day where I looked him up on court records, and I said, I feel like I've seen this guy's name before, and I looked, and he had, I think, 19 lawsuits in Wayne County, all for fraudulent deeds. So we do a little bit of investigating when we do this. We want to make sure that the transactions are good. Yeah.
Can I, Home County, just to let everyone know, they actually have a fraud notify. So if you have a property, you own a property, all you have to do is go on their website, put in your property address and your name or a relative's name, doesn't matter, you can sign anyone up.
Yep.
And it will actually, the county will notify you immediately if there's anything that has gone on with your deed. And it's a free service.
So that same service that you can use for your properties is what the mortgage companies also use to know if property has been conveyed or transferred or a lien is put on or whatever to keep track. Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's a good service, especially for your own personal properties.
Yeah.
When I went to Michigan Investment Title, my whole real estate game changed. I could not be happier. Instead of me chasing the title company, they have to chase me now, which is really nice. They keep me going.
I have a 7:30 appointment with my underwriter tonight to talk about your deals to get them
really?
closed for you. Yes, this is what I do for you.
I know, and I don't know if it's just me, but every once in a while I'll shoot off an email on the weekend to an owner or an investor or whatever, and Erika is responding on it. I'm like, why are you working right now? I didn't expect you to answer.
I stopped in the middle of Costco to answer that one.
It makes
But
all
yes.
the difference if you have a title company behind you. So I just want to.
We want your deals to close. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.